Good evening, everyone. I welcome all of you on behalf of Ambedkar King Study Circle to today's talk, Vachathi, Fighting the State Violence. In the light of a recent judgment that is given by the High Court in Vachathi State Atrocity Case. The case in brief. On 22nd June 1992, a team of 155 forest personnel, 108 policemen, and revenue officials, 6 of them, entered the tribal village Vachathi, searching for smuggled sandalwood and gather information about the smuggler Veerappan. Under the pretext of conducting a search, the team ransacked the villagers' property, destroyed their houses, killed their cattle, and brutally assaulted around 100 villagers and raped 18 women, including girls as young as 13 years old. After a court order, the CBI began probing the case, which also came under the National Human Rights Commission's scope. On 29 September 2011, the trial court convicted all 269 accused under the SC/ST Prevention of Atrocities Act and 17 for rape. 54 of the original accused had died by the time of convictions. The remaining 215 were sentenced to jail. This took 19 years to get here. This is a groundbreaking judgment in post-independence Indian legal history. The Dharmapuri Sessions Court convicted all 269 officials accused in this charge sheet. And then they appealed. This goes another 12 years. The girl is 44-year-old woman now. Though this is a delay of a lifetime, the villagers are happy that justice is served with a landmark judgment by Justice Velmurugan, not only upholding the previous judgment punishing all the criminals that are alive, but also giving a direction to the state to take stringent action on the minister and SP at that time. The charge sheet filed by the police that claimed that the villagers smuggled sandalwood was also specifically quashed, and the court directed the state to give a better compensation to the victims, part of that to be recovered from the rapists. If we think back, who can and will fight for people on the ground with the draining legal battle of 32 years? We couldn't think of any organization other than the Communist Party and the leaders and organizations who have socialist ideology that stood firmly to fight the state machinery. Like our guest today, Comrade P.Shanmugam. On the legal front, a dedicated team of lawyers, including senior advocates R. Vaigay and N.G. R. Prasad, along with advocates G. Chamkiraj, K. Ilango, and Subaram. They served as backbone in articulating the perspectives of the victims throughout this journey. The entire effort was led by Comrade P.Shanmugam. We have here Comrade P.Shanmugam to educate us about the long fight on the ground. He is a Central Committee member of the CPIM. He was a General Secretary of Tamilnadu Tribals Association at that time and now the State Secretary. Comrade P.Shanmugam, a true beacon of the relentless fight along with other remarkable leaders, will share their inspiring journey. The talk will be in Tamil and will be translated in regular intervals by AKSC member Comrade A. Karthik. Over to you, Comrade.
அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். இந்த மாதிரியான ஒரு வாய்ப்பை ஏற்படுத்தி கொடுத்தமைக்காக அம்பேத்கர் கிங் படிப்பு ஓட்டத்து நிர்வாகிகள் அனைவருக்கும் என்னுடைய வணக்கத்தையும் வாழ்த்துக்களையும் தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன்.
Greetings everyone. Thank you for making this opportunity so that the voices can be heard. Vachathi issue, as I have been telling for a long time, Vachathi issue and the Veerappan issue are two separate stories. Except for the sandalwood trees, there is no similarities between the two issues. Singara Velu is the head of the special task force here. And this village is in the Eastern Ghats. It's completely different from the Veerappan, where the Veerappan was roaming around. The entire village is comprised of tribals and hills, people who live only in the hills, except for like 10 or 12 people who own some shops there. On So the incident happened on June 21st, 22, 23 on 1992, but we came to know only by August time frame. Looks like the revenue department officials, police personnel, and a total of 300 officers were involved in this attack against the village. We went there only by August. And by the account of the RDO, the revenue department official, it is mentioned as a speechless village because no one came forward to speak anything about the atrocities there. Every other house was broken. Every small things got broken up. Even utensils. They spoiled so many um, small objects they used to cook their food. The kerosene got spilled all over. The diesel got poured on. The only goal of all the officers was to make sure the tribals should not be living there back again. Only one person, her name is Sala, right? Yeah, Sala. She came forward to speak. She came forward to speak after she looked at us when we were doing the protest and demonstration, and we were talking, talking about the atrocities of the RDOs and other people. That's why she came forward and spoke with us. And then we took a photographer and took all the photos in the village. There's no electricity. They cut off all the electricity, and even they spoil all the water by throwing the dead goat, the skin of the dead goat. So nobody can drink the water there. So there's no electricity, and they spoiled all the water, right? So going forward, in the same meeting, some of the people informed us the women were raped, women and girls were raped, even small girls were raped in this raid. We cannot believe, since there are women police involved in this raid. So Lalita Boy, who was a prison warden, told us that we were the only people who visited the 25 girls in the prison. Nobody else got there. And she explained how brutally they were attacked and raped. And she had to help them to go to a hospital and get them treated there. Even till date, I cannot directly ask the girls or the women about this issue, as this is very sensitive, and it really breaks my heart to do this. And we have to give special thanks to the Lalita Bai, who was a prison warden, who came forward and she stood up against powers of the state, and she made sure the justice were given. Some 15 men were also in another prison. We heard from the 15 men about the atrocities happened in the forest department. They were all brutally attacked in the presence of all the family members. All, like their uncles, their aunts, and everybody were there, and in front of them, the brutality continued for the entire night. So initially, only 3 of the women came forward, and we reported in a petition. All the rapes of the women happened in front of 5 or 6-year-old small girls. Their mothers got raped in front of their eyes. You have to think about the trauma the kids would have gone through all these years. Later at night, we went to the collector's house, and we had to rattle the gates to wake up the collector. And he acted innocent, as if he doesn't know anything and he is only knowing now. But we know that he is lying. We gave a detailed explanation to the collector and submitted a petition that did not get reported. And then we sent again a detailed petition to the CM, the current CM at the time, J. Jayalalitha. And none of the media reported about this incident. We were surprised, and then we again sent a petition through our Nalla Sivan, right?
Through
Nalla. Okay, Nalla Sivan. And then only then the detailed petition reached the CM Jayalalitha again, and that got reported all over the media. On 21st, the Forest Minister, Mr. Senkote, denied all the reports of this raid and brutality as a baseless allegation, and he said that it is only to tarnish the image of the party and the government at the time. We told them we were only reporting what we saw, and we wanted them to investigate. Till today, ADMK denies and want to bury this under the carpet. They did not give any comment even after this judgment has come. Okay, going back to the what actually happened on the why these atrocities have happened. The actual incident was when some forest officers came in search of sandalwoods in the village, and they asked a person called Sebattu Perumal, and he did not know about what the incident has actually happened, but they were very high-handed in their approach, and in a sudden turn of events, the people in the town all ganged up, and in a fit of the rage and all that, the forest officer was attacked, and actually, even if this happened due to rage, the people in the village actually carried the forest officer Selvaraj to the hospital, admitted him in the hospital, and gave him a treatment. And he admitted that, like, only without the people in the town, he would not have survived. Okay. So, with the government denying the fact of all this raid and atrocities, the Tamilnadu Tribal Association filed a PIL, public interest litigation, in the High Court of Chennai. Like, as soon as the PIL came in front of the judge, she disposed of the petition. She said all the accused are well learned and well to do. They would not have done this kind of atrocities. And then we moved the petition to a Supreme Court through Nallasivan, and Supreme Court directed.
There are higher officials, so they didn't this type of.
Right. Yeah, they are all higher officials, well learned officials. They do not do this kind of things. That's what Padmini, right? The name of the judge. Yeah, Padmini, the judge told and disposed of the petition. And then we moved to Supreme Court through Nallasivan, and from the SC took up the petition and directed the High Court to carry on the investigation. All along, the government was a party who is opposing this petition in the Supreme Court and High Court as well. And I didn't get the name. Maithili Sivaram.
It was state vice.
Okay, Maithili Sivaram from Aidwa, along with the SC/ST Commission. அவங்க SC/ST Commission அவங்க பேரு Bhamadi IAS. Okay, thanks. Bhamadi IAS, they went again to the village and they did a thorough investigation on the atrocities and the raid that happened in that village. And this became a turning point in this case because they were the only third party who came and did an independent investigation there in the ground, which validated our report, our petition, and it helped a lot in this case. Finally, the High Court took up the petition, and with literally no ration shops and no support system, every support system got broken up in the village, and people do not have a livelihood there. High Court ordered gave an interim order to help all the people with the day-to-day rations and other things. They even asked the government officials to get proper educational certificates and other things for the kids as well, since all of them got destroyed in this raid. Uh, it was you know it was handled by the Bomadi IAS, comrade. Bomadi
Uh,
IAS.
Inquiry Commission, yes.
Okay, inquiry commission. And after the investigation by Bomadi IAS, it went to the CBI for further investigations. So this case actually went to the CBI only after 2.5 years. In my view, the CBI handled the case very well, and the officer who handled the case was Vishwanathan.
Jagannath.
No?
Jagannath.
Okay, Jagannath. Okay. So one of the main thing that we wanted to do is to make this into a people's movement, as we felt this is a atrocious state violence. We did so many forms of protest and demonstrations. I took a hunger strike until 4 days, and then police arrested me. So throughout my strike, a lot of people came forward and met me. So this uh, became a people movement, and only because of this people movement, or one of the main reason for this extraordinary justice against state violence was possible because it was a people movement. As we all know, it's very hard to prove rape. It is where the role of Lalita Boy, the prison warden, and the women police officers' statements become very critical. Also, some this was witnessed by some people in the nearby villages. They claimed that the women and girls were taken in a van to a desolate place in the hill, and they clearly saw this kind of atrocities happening in front of their eyes. CBI investigated it very well. They made sure um, uh, it was actually uh, they they were in the hills in the opposite direction, and they would try to see the visibility of the opposite hills and the light at that time and everything. They kind of very meticulously investigated, and all the complaints that we raised were properly received and properly investigated by the CBI. CBI then booked 229 people uh, for this raid, and CBI court filed the charge sheet, and then the case got really
Right.
sped up. On 1996 October, uh, all the 229 people were remanded, and it was DMK government now, and suddenly the road roko was staged by the family members of the people who got arrested, and the then Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Kalankar Karunanidhi, released all the prisoners. We were wondering, as it cannot be done, as it was ordered by the court to remand them. Uh, and also, the special court has to be formed as directed by the High Court. But both the DMK as well as the ADMK government were hell bent on sabotaging the case. They did not form the special court for a long, long time. And we had to indulge in so much agitations all around. So even the in-person identification process was not properly done. The officials who are involved in doing the in-person identification process tried to sabotage the process itself. High Court has to pass severe strictures against officials who has to do this process. They created so much hurdles for the girls to identify the real perpetrators of the rape. They kind of fielded almost 1,500 people on a large ground, and in the midst of them, the girls have to identify the criminals. The girls did a tremendous job in properly identifying them. The judgment in 2011, I think Judge Kumaraguru gave the judgment, making sure all of them are guilty. And this case became very pronounced, or it's known to the outside world, because this is the only case where so many uniformed officials got punished. They kind of appealed in the High Court, and it was with the High Court for so long, and finally the judgment has come now. And some of the important areas the judgment covered was to give a proper livelihood to people affected by this raid and atrocities. So a lot of people were given jobs and were promised jobs. And we also made sure they got some monetary benefits out of this. We made sure like some 3.5 crores were given to the people affected. The one of the things that we want to highlight here is the affected people slogged all along for justice, and they finally won. And it gives a ray of hope to the oppressed people around the world that um, justice can be done. If you are in for the fight, for the long drawn fight. Yeah, that's it.